Hi guys, Miss Ragland here. Long time no see. We are going to do a new demo today for your next project. You guys have already practiced shading with colored pencils. I'm going to show you how to shade with pastels. Now I know some of you may not have pastels at home. Some of you may, but I'm going to just do this demo because it's something that we're doing in class and we may use it again in the future. But if you don't have pastels, you can just use your colored pencils or your crayons or whatever you've been using. So, with that being said, what we're going to do is a set of Christmas ornaments for the season. But I'm going to simply just shade spheres, so that way you can apply it to anything that you may shade. So first, I'm just going to draw a circle. Now, if you need to trace a circle, grab you a cup from the kitchen. That's great. That's fine. You should do it. I'm going to start with applying pastels really thick. Now, I have several tips that I've learned most recently on using pastels. A couple are, don't try to blend it with your fingers because that doesn't work. Make sure you apply pressure. Use lots of layers. And then in a minute when I show you how to start blending, you want to go back and forth with your blending. I'll show you what I mean by that. Now you can, like you see me doing, color this way, just strokes. You can do scumbling. I've seen lots of artists do different things, so it's a preference thing, whatever you want to do. I do want to say that what paper you use matters. You don't want to just use printer paper. It's too slick for pastels. Something like drawing paper from your sketchbook, or if you have white construction paper. White construction paper would work great. Anything that you have that has a matte texture. You don't want it to be slick. So I'm going to switch to a little bit darker shade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right on top of my lightest shade with my darkest shade. And that doesn't look much darker. Let's beef it up a notch. When you go on top of it, you're going to blend it and create another shade. Now remember, just like we learned when we were shading with pencils, you want to create the contour shape of whatever you're shading. So you don't want it to have stripes like that are straight. You want it to be round, like a crescent almost. Okay, let's get a little bit darker. I think I'm going to switch now to, let's see, I wonder what purple would look like. Let's switch to like a dark plum color. Looks nice. Now you want to make sure that you choose one side for your light to come from and one side from your dark to come from, just like when you're shading with pencil. Same idea. Same concept. So this is going to be my darker edge. Now don't worry too much if you go outside of the lines, because I'm going to show you in a little bit what we're going to do with these. Okay, so once you get that all filled in and dark, what I mean by going back and forth is now I can take my lightest color or even another lighter color and go back and add more, blend more. Like I said, the more layers you use, the better it turns out. Let's see if I zoom in, if you can see those colors better. They're kind of looking all the same on the camera. That was actually pink. So let me get a little bit darker. Let's try a darker. No, is that any darker? No, that just looks blue. So, all those colors are showing up the same color on the camera. Okay, and then with pastels, the fun thing is you can use white at the very end to add highlights. Now remember, if you're using colored pencils, you want to leave a white space. Okay, that's a little bit darker. All right, let's take our white, try to add the highlight. Let's see if it shows up. So I'm going to add like a circle-y highlight around. Highlight to my ball, to my ornament. Okay, that one's not looking that great, but you get the idea. Now another fun thing you can do with oil pastels, if you get the layers thick enough, is you can use a sharp stick or a paper clip, that's what I was looking for, to scratch some designs into it. So when we are doing our Christmas ornaments, we are going to do that. So see how that's really fun and really satisfying. Students really love the scratch art process. So you have to dust those off every now and then. Try not to dust them with your fingers. If you have a paintbrush at home, paintbrush works really good for dusting the pastel shavings off. Make sure it's dry. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to cut these out. So that's why I said don't worry if you go outside of the lines, because we are going to cut them out. Now, I want you to, for your assignment, create at least 3 ornaments, and they can be different shapes. They don't have to be spheres. Any shape ornament that you want is fine. And then what we're doing in class is we are gluing these to a piece of black paper. So if you bought the construction paper that I put on the supply list at the beginning of our time together, then you should have some pieces of black paper. If you don't have black paper, don't freak out. You can glue them to anything you have at home. Be creative. Think outside the box. Just go rummaging through stuff. Find something to glue them to. So we're going to attach them on the black paper with our glue stick. Do be careful when you're doing that. What I would advise is having a scrap piece of paper to lay it on when you put the glue on, and also the scrap piece of paper you can use to press it down so it doesn't smear. So a couple of tips there. Then once you get them all glued down, what you're going to want to do is add some details. Now, you can use crayons, color pencils, and pastels, whichever one, again, that you have or that works. This is all like a big experiment, really, so you just have to try things and see what happens. But what I've showed students to do is to draw a stick right over top of it, not straight, and then add little sticks coming out from it to create a branch. Now, the more layers of different colors of green you use, the better that's going to look. And then you'll want to add a little top to your ornament. This is a silver color pencil. It works really good. Again, whatever you have at home is fine. Okay, so that's what we have done. And this is what my completed one looks like. I think I added it to the slideshow. So we have 3 different ornaments here, 3 different colors. You can see the shading I did a little bit better on this one. And there are lots of shades of green in here, and even some brown. So whatever you guys can do to make this project work for you at home is fine with me. If you don't want to do a black background, you could do them on another white piece of paper and draw some tree. You don't even have to have a tree branch. You can put them on a wreath. You can do anything you want to. Be creative, have fun, and I can't wait to see what you guys create for me. So, happy creating!